Hello everybody, Pluviophile here. Today we are answering, what's something weird, funny, embarrassing you've done on autopilot? Let's get right into it. Started unbuttoning and unzipping my trousers while I walked towards the toilet, just like I do at home because I'm efficient like that. Except I was at work and was walking through the shared office. Not sure if this counts as autopilot, but I was about 14 at school, and we had this classmate who had Down syndrome. He kept saying, "Suck my dick," and a bunch of us couldn't help but laugh at when time came for our teacher to do the register. She called out my name. Instead of saying, "Here, miss," I said, "Suck my," but managed to stop myself by slapping my hand over my mouth. People started laughing and our teacher couldn't quite make out what I said, wondering why everyone was laughing. One girl saved my ass by telling the teacher that I accidentally said, "Here, mum," instead of, "Here, miss." TLDR, classmate keeps saying "suck my dick." So I nearly told my teacher to suck my dick. Girl saves my ass. Put my Bluetooth headphones in the freezer to charge. Wanted to go to work with the car, but forgot to turn the engine on. I stood there for 10 minutes trying to figure it out. A neighbor even came to help me and didn't see the problem. My dog's favorite part of the day is dinner time. I pull out her food, she starts wagging and doing the tippy taps, get a scoop of food, and instead of going to her bowl, I dump the full scoop into the trash can. She then just looked at me with the saddest eyes and I felt terrible, so she got a little bit extra food and some pets. I used to work at the airport, and got used to yelling the word, "Next please," a lot. One week, I was working really long shifts, and was pretty tired. I decided to stop at McDonald's on my way home from work and went through the drive-thru. When I stopped to tell them my order, I yelled, "Next please," into the speaker. I once tried to zoom in on a paper when I wanted to fix a tiny detail in my drawing. I was very tired, mind you, but that was still sort of funny to me because I did it like 4 to 5 times before realizing, wait, this isn't my phone. Go to check the mail, grab the keys, oh yeah, there is garbage recycling that needs to go out. I stop at mailbox, I get mail, throw away the garbage, throw away the mail, throw away my keys. Neighbor asks if I am going to need those. I just kind of stop, look around a bit and say, well, yeah, probably. I'm an ex-bus driver, and many times on my way home from work, I would go to pull into a bus stop, in my car, saying goodbye to my aunt at her husband's funeral, and accidentally said, "Yeah, it was fun," when she said thanks for coming. Put my phone under a faucet to fill up my water bottle. I recognized my mistake. And then I did it again. I was feeling an encroaching sickness coming upon me one time, so I decided to be proactive and make myself a couple of days worth of the most baller chicken soup I could manage in advance, so I'd be able to eat well even when I was dying of allergy. I chopped the carrots, I sorted the onions, I stewed the chicken bones, and I cooked that motherfucker down for 8 hours into the most delicious stock you could imagine. Then I poured it all through a colander into the sink. The pipe underneath my sink was broken, so I put a bucket below it to catch the water leaking out. When it was full, I poured it back in the sink, and proceeded to flood my kitchen. Put my cat in the kitchen drawer. One morning I was sick and stayed home from work. My wife was being really awesome and served me breakfast. Trying to show her how thankful I was, I said, "Thanks, Mom." We both just stared at each other for a second, then burst out laughing. I used to work on a farm, and we always took our boots off before entering the homestead for meal breaks. One afternoon I absent-mindedly unbuttoned my jeans and started to take them off instead of my boots. I guess my brain decided I was done for the day. Have a good day, sir. Love you too. Awkward shuffle out of Panera. I was getting out of my car and went to take a sip of my iced coffee. Unfortunately, I put the end of my car key in my mouth instead. Was taking my belt off at the TSA and then pulled down my pants, got to my ankles and was like, nope, back up. Always running to catch the subway after waiting at the crosswalk in front of the station. Casually walking with my friend in the same area yesterday. Started running when the cross sign lit up. He was like, WTF? I made dinner. It was some exotic chicken and rice. Wanted the drink, poured orange juice in my chicken and rice. Tasted great though. Started to trim my beard and didn't see the guard was off. Huge swath of beard gone in one swipe. The kids still refer to me during the beardless months as creepy daddy, and I am not allowed to shave it off again. I was sitting in math class one day, and I was just humming to myself while the teacher explained something at the board. She went to turn off the projector, which is next to my desk. Then, still standing next to me, she gives me this weird look and asks, "Is something wrong?" I had been so deep in thought that I had lost the tune but kept humming, so I was now just humming along, low, HMMMMMMM, without any change in pitch. So yeah, that was embarrassing. I work with preschoolers and we sing songs to help them wash their hands, and I started singing the same song when I went out with some friends to a bar. Edit. Thanks for the silver, friend bang edit 2. The song goes, wash, wash, wash your hands, wash them every day. Scrub, scrub, scrub the germs and wash them down the drain, to the tune of Row Your Boat. I had recently been attending a lot of marital arts classes at night. One morning at work I accidentally bowed at my boss when I entered his office. This was in the US, neither of us are of Asian descent, and yes, he noticed that it was awkward. I tried putting the milk bottle back in the microwave, then got mad when it didn't fit. I only stopped trying cause my brother was there watching and he started laughing. I used to work in a factory, starting at 6 a.m., so I'd have to get out of bed around 5:15 each morning. There was one morning when I got up, had my breakfast and left as usual, drove round the corner up to the garage where I would buy my lunch. It seemed a lot quieter than usual, but being half asleep myself, it only half registered. Then I got back in my car and noticed the time. I was awake 3 hours early. FML. I went home and back to bed for a couple of hours. I drove home from Phoenix to Prescott, forgetting the fact that I had moved to Flagstaff about a month prior. Got all the way to my old driveway before realizing my error. Both Prescott and Flagstaff are north of Phoenix, but are about 1.75 hours apart from each other. On the railroad, you can get verbal permission to pass a red signal or flag, either from the dispatcher or the employee who placed the red flag. You cannot under any circumstances pass a blue light or flag, because that protects employees working on under between rolling stock beyond the blue signal. Driving home in the car late one night, I decided to take a shortcut through the local university. I go around a corner and see a blue light marking a police call station. Immediate conclusion, shit, can't go that way. I've worked as a caregiver for adults with mental and physical disabilities for more than a decade now. I'm a caregiver. I do basic cares, which include helping many adult men do their daily activities, things like shaving, buttoning shirts, making sure belts are on correctly, so on and so forth. Once on a date, I was a bit buzzed. I fixed my date's shirt, and told him he needed to look in the mirror and see if he wanted to shave. Washed an apple at the sink. Dried it with a paper towel. Turned and tossed the apple in the trash and stood there holding the towel like an idiot. Sometimes in the shower I fill my mouth up with water and just kind of let it pour out. Was brushing my teeth standing in the bathroom one day, fully dressed before work. I just let the toothpaste pour slowly out of my mouth and onto my clothes as if I were in the shower. Now every time I brush my teeth, my boyfriend warns me not to spit all over myself. I always take my shirt off after my shoes when I get undressed. So there I was at around 4:30 in the morning, headed through security to fly across country for a festival. I'm nowhere close to awake and I'm totally running on autopilot. I'm throwing my stuff on the conveyor, I take my shoes off, and I started to take my shirt off in the FFS. Why was she attractive? TSA lady was like, slow down sir, we just met. I didn't know they come with a sense of humor. My wife's friend and her husband were leaving after having dinner at our house. As they're leaving, she says, "Love you," to my wife. Naturally, I respond, "Love you T. U-U-U-U-U-H. Yeah, good night." Just today I went to the grocery store, packed everything into my backpack at self-checkout and went home. As soon as I got home, I remembered I never actually paid. Edit. To all those asking if I went back and paid, I did. As soon as I noticed, I went back, swiped my card in the self-checkout and got it over with. Nobody had even noticed. The store's about 300 minutes from my apartment complex. For clarification as to how I got away with it, the self-checkout works by swiping your personal discount card, then grabbing a scanner that lights up. You scan all your items before putting them into your cart basket. When you're done, you put the scanner back, then go to one of the self-checkout registers, swipe your discount card again to create a bill to pay, then pay it using your debit card. I did everything except swipe my card and pay, since I usually do all this before packing everything. Yesterday I was worried if they'd fit, so I wanted to find out first, put them all into my backpack and then went my merry way without a second thought. I lived in the same house for 16 years. Moved out. Years later I did some summer work as a construction worker on my old house. First day I walked in, mindlessly did what I always did when I came in, waltzed into the kitchen during the family's breakfast, opened the fridge and peered inside for a long while looking for something to eat. I came to myself, dude, I don't live here anymore. Looked up, and the family was all staring at me from the breakfast table, forks in midair. At this unknown construction worker making himself right at home. I was so embarrassed I backed out, stammered,